A New York man who lost his first wife in a fire and his son to vehicular assault draws parallels between their deaths and other ill luck. After a lengthy trial, a California jury found Carl Carlson guilty of first-degree murder by arson for burning down his family's house in 1991. His then-wife, Christina Carlson, was killed in the blaze. He ran over his son Levi with a truck 17 years later. Continue following to learn what drove him to commit such atrocities, until the authorities finally uncovered the horrific motivation behind the so-called accidents. Carl Carlson could get away with committing and covering up these crimes for years. Before it was discovered that Carlson had murdered his wife and son on purpose, their deaths were first ruled an accident. The long story of mental and physical torture that led to insurance fraud and murder is detailed in the episode. 18 years separated the murders of Christina in 1991 and Levi in 2011. Christina was the first. On December 31st, she lost her life in a house fire. In 2008, Levi was struck and murdered by a pickup truck. The police first concluded both incidents were accidents, but subsequent investigation disproved that theory. Investigating both murders revealed nefarious underpinnings. In the Carlson family, one member systematically eliminated his closest relatives to amass a fortune. Family relatives say Carl's wife mentally controlled and bullied him. Colette Booson, Christina's sister, claimed, "Anytime we observed symptoms of physical abuse, he would tell us that." According to Oxygen, despite the counsel of her family and friends, Christina stayed with Carl for the sake of their children. What happened next wasn't good. She ended up badly burned. On that fateful day, Christina was confined to the restroom. When the fire broke out in their house, she was trapped inside since the window had been boarded up. Carlson informed police that Christina had accidentally smashed the bathroom window 3 days prior, prompting him to board it up. He said Christina mistook the kerosene jug for water and put it in the corridor outside the bathroom. He said that the cats and dogs had spilled the kerosene and had caught fire because an electric light had been left too close to the carpet in the corridor. The story ended after that, with the firefighters insisting that the fire was unintentional. However, Carlson appears to have fraudulently obtained $200,000 in life insurance on Christina's behalf just 20 days before her untimely demise. This was just the beginning of the husband's abuse. His harsh behavior extended to his son Levi in particular. One of Carl and Christina's other daughters, Erin DeRoche, claimed that Carl would beat Levi with anything he could get his hands on. Then, in 2008, while working, Levi was killed when a pickup vehicle he was jacking up toppled off the jack and crushed his body. Carl killed him and made it look like a sad accident. Oddly, it occurred about the same time Levi left his father his real estate in a will. Carlson received $707,000 from Levi's life insurance policy after his death, and now Cindy has legitimate worries. A second coincidence: she contacted law enforcement because she suspected Levi's death wasn't an accident. She provided New York police with enough details about the murder to create enough concerns and suspicions to launch an inquiry. Following an inquiry by law enforcement, Carlson pled guilty to second-degree murder in Levi's death in 2013. Carlson described killing Levi during his interrogation. "I asked him to work on a farm truck a week after we signed the life insurance, and he agreed." The 23-year-old man checked it out a few hours later by lying on his back beneath the truck. The front wheels were missing, an unbalanced jack was used to support the truck, and no safety blocks were around. This was all Carlson's doing. Carlson anticipated this, so he climbed onto the truck's front cab and started the engine, forcing the front of the truck to collapse upon his son. Carlson cranked the radio while his son writhed in pain. The brutal crime also prompted authorities in California to re-examine the murder of Christina Carlson in 1991. In California, a jury decided that the occurrence wasn't an accident after hearing evidence from both sides. Eventually, the Seneca County Sheriff's Office performed a thorough operation. They gathered sufficient evidence to try and convict Carl Carlson of both murders, putting him in prison. Possibly, Carl Carlson's life is a series of fortunate coincidences. A few weeks after he received the life insurance payout for his first wife, she passed away. Shortly after that, his first kid passed away, leaving him as the sole beneficiary of his life insurance policy. Do you believe his confession and capture are just coincidence, or should he be put to death instead of serving a life sentence? Share your thoughts in the space below. If you like this video and want to see more like it, please subscribe and turn on notifications for this channel.